शुरू होने पर ग्रुप्स बन गए, क्योंकि जिस सूत्र में आप बंधे हुए हैं वो आपके माँ का सूत्र है, और उसी सूत्र में अगर आप बंधे रहे और पूरी समय ये जानते रहे कि हम एक ही माँ के बच्चे हैं, ना हमें कोई ऊंचा न नीचा, न ही हम कोई कार्य को करते हैं, और ये चैतन्य ही सारा कार्य करता है, हम कुछ करते ही नहीं है। ये भावना ही जब छूट गई, और ये कि हम इतने बड़े हैं, हमने ये किया, दूसरा क्या, हमने ये किया, हम ये करेंगे, हम वो करेंगे, तब फिर चैतन्य कहता है अच्छा तुझे जो करना है कर, जहाँ जाना है जा, जाना है तूने नर्क में जा, तुझे अपने को मिटा लेना है अपने को मिटा ले, अपना सर्वनाश करना है वो भी कर ले, जो तुझे करना है तू कर, वो आपको रोकेगा नहीं, क्योंकि आपकी स्वतंत्रता वो मानता है। आप स्वर्ग में जाना चाहे तो उसकी भी व्यवस्था है, और नरक में जाना चाहे तो उसकी भी व्यवस्था है। पर सहयोग में एक और बड़ा दोष है, एक बहुत बड़ा दोष है कि हम एक सामूहिक विराट शक्ति है, हम अकेले अकेले नहीं है, सब एक ही शरीर के अंग प्रत्यंग है। उसमें अगर एक इंसान ऐसा हो जाए या दो चार ऐसे हो जाए जो अपना अपना ग्रुप बना ले, तो जैसे कैंसर की मैलिग्नेंसी होती है कि एक सेल ही बढ़ने लग जाता है, ऐसे ही एक आदमी बढ़ करके और सारे सहयोग को ग्रस्त, और हमारी सारी मेहनत व्यर्थ जाती। हमको तो चाहिए कि समुद्र से सीखें कि जो सबसे नीचे रह करके ही सब चीज को अपने अंदर, सब नदियों को अपने अंदर समाता है, और बगैर समुद्र के तो ये सृष्टि चल नहीं सकती, और अपने को तपा करके बांस बना करके सारी दुनिया में बरसात की सौगात भेजता है। उसकी जो नम्रता है वही उसकी गहराई का लक्षण है, और उस नम्रता में कोई ऊपरी नम्रता नहीं कि नमस्ते भाई साहब नमस्ते, कुछ नहीं, सबसे नीचे में सबको ग्रहण, सबको अपने अंदर लेकर उसको शुद्ध करके और फिर बांस बना करके बरसात करना, और फिर वही बरसात नदियों में पड़कर दौड़ती हुई उसी समुद्र की ओर दौड़ेगी। और इस समुद्र की पहचान, आप अगर कभी किसी समुद्र के किनारे पे गए तो देखिए कि वहाँ जितने भी नारियल के पेड़ हैं वो सब समुद्र के ही ओर झुके हुए। इतनी जोर की हवा चलती है, कुछ भी हो जाए, लेकिन वो कभी भी समुद्र से दूसरी ओर मुड़ते नहीं, क्योंकि वो जानते हैं ये समुद्र है। इस समुद्र के समान ही अपना हृदय विशाल तब होगा जब हमारे अंदर अत्यंत नम्रता और प्रेम आ जाए। लेकिन अपना ही महत्व करना, अपने ही को विशेष समझना, ये जो चीज है इसमें सबसे बड़ी खराबी यह है कि परम चैतन्य आपको काट देगा, जाओ तुमको तुम्हारा महत्व, तुम जाओ हट जाओ। और फिर जैसे कि कोई नाखून काट के फेंक देता है, इस तरह से आप एक तरफ फेंक जाएंगे, जो मेरे लिए तो बड़ी दुखदायी बात होती है। और ऐसे दो चार लोग जो निकल आए जो सोचते हैं हम बहुत काम करते हैं, हमने ये कार्य किया, हमने वो कार्य किया, उनको फौरन ठंडा हो जाना चाहिए और पीछे हट करके देखना चाहिए कि हम ध्यान करते हैं, हमारा ध्यान लगता है, हम कितने गहरे हैं, और फिर हम किसको प्यार करते हैं, किस किस को प्यार करते हैं, कितनों को प्यार करते हैं और कितनों से दुश्मनी लेते हैं। सहयोग में कोई लोग बड़े गहरे बैठ गए, बहुत गहरे आ गए, इसमें कोई शंका नहीं, और बहुत से अभी भी किनारे पे ही डोल रहे, और कब वो फिर जाएंगे कह नहीं सकते, क्योंकि मैंने आपसे पहले ही बताया है कि 1990 साल के बाद एक नया आयाम खुलने वाला है, और एक छलांग आपको मारनी होगी, जो आप इस माहौल से उतर करके और उस नई चीज को पकड़ लें। जैसे कि चक्का है, जब घूमता है तो एक बिंदु पे आकर फिर आगे सरक जाता है। इसी प्रकार सहयोग की प्रगति भी सामूहिक होने वाली है, और इसमें टिकने के लिए पहली चीज हमारे अंदर पवित्र होना चाहिए, जो नम्रता से भरा। वैसे तो दुनिया में लोग आपने देखे हैं कि जो अपने को बड़े पवित्र समझते हैं और सुबह शाम संध्या करते हैं और किसी को छूने नहीं देते, ये खाना नहीं खाएंगे, वो आएगा तो उसको कहेंगे तुम दूर बैठो, वो किसी ने छू लिया तो उनकी हालत खराब। ये पागलपन। अगर आप एकदम स्वच्छ हैं, एकदम आप पवित्र हैं, तो आपको किसी को भी छूने में, किसी से भी बात करने में कभी अपवित्रता नहीं, क्योंकि आप हर चीज को ही शुद्ध करते, आपका स्वभाव ही शुद्ध करने का, तो आप जिससे मिलेंगे उसी को आप शुद्ध करते ही जाएंगे। उसमें डरने की कौन सी बात है, उसमें किसी को कंडेम करने की कौन सी बात है, उसके लिए कानाफूसी करने की कौन सी बात है। तो ये तो लक्षण एक ही है कि आपकी स्वयं पवित्रता कम है। अगर आपकी पवित्रता संपूर्ण है तो वो पवित्रता में भी शक्ति और तेज है, और वो इतना शक्तिशाली है कि कोई से भी अपवित्रता को वो खींच सकता है। जैसे मैंने कहा कि हर तरह की चीज समुद्र में पूरी तरह से एकाकार हो जाती है। अब दूसरे लोग हैं कि जो सिर्फ अपनी ही प्रगति को सोचते हैं, वो ये सोचते हैं कि हमें दूसरे से क्या मतलब। हम अपने कमरे में बैठकर माँ की पूजा करते हैं, उसकी आरती करते हैं, उनको हम मानते हैं और हम चाहते हैं कि हमारी उन्नति हो जाए, हमें दुनिया से कोई मतलब नहीं। और दूसरों से कटे रहते, ऐसे लोग भी बढ़ नहीं सकते, क्योंकि आप शरीर के एक अंग प्रत्यंग है। समझ लीजिए एक उंगली ने अपने को बांध लिया और कहेगी कि नहीं मैं किसी से और मतलब नहीं मेरा, मैं अलग से रहूंगी, ये तो उंगली मर जाएगी, क्योंकि इसमें रक्त कहाँ से आएगा, इसमें नस कैसी चलेगी, इसमें चेतना का संचार कैसे होगा। ये तो कटी हुई रहेगी, ये तो छूटी हुई रहेगी। आप एक बार उंगली को बांध के देखिए और 5 दिन बांधे रखिए, उसके बाद आप देखिए कि उंगली काम ही नहीं करेगी, आप किसी काम की नहीं रह जाएगी। फिर आप कहेंगे माँ मैं तो इतनी पूजा करता हूँ, मैं तो इतने मंत्र बोलता हूँ, मैं तो इतना कार्य करता हूँ, फिर मेरा हाल ऐसा क्यों है? क्योंकि आप विगलित हैं, आप हट गए, उस सामूहिक शक्ति से आप हट गए। सहयोग सामूहिक शक्ति है, इस सामूहिकता से आप जहाँ हट गए वहीं पर आप अलग हो गए उस सामूहिक शक्ति से। सो दोनों ही चीज की तरफ ध्यान देना है कि हम अपनी शक्ति को भी संभालें और सामूहिकता में रचते जाएं, तभी आपके अंदर पूरा संतुलन आ जाए। लेकिन बाह्य में आप बहुत कार्य करते हैं। मैंने ऐसे लोग देखे हैं जिन्होंने सहयोग के लिए बहुत कार्य किया और काफी अच्छे भाषण देते थे, बोलते थे। उनके भाषणों के उन्होंने फिर टेप बना ली। फिर लोगों से कहने लगे कि अच्छा आप हमारी टेप सुन, तो लोग हमारी टेप छोड़ के उन्हीं की टेप सुनते थे। और उनका ये हाल था कि जैसे अभी हम बैठे हैं तो वो हमारे फोटो को तो नमस्कार करेंगे, हमें नहीं करेंगे, क्योंकि उनको फोटो की आदत पड़ी। हमसे उनको कोई मतलब नहीं, वो फोटो से मतलब। ऐसे ऐसे विक्षिप्त लोग हमने देखे। फिर उन्होंने अपने फोटो छपाए और फोटो सबको दिखा रहे कि हम ऐसे, हम वैसे, हम वैसे। इस तरह से अनेक तरीके से वो अपना ही महत्व बढ़ाते, करते करते ऐसे गड्ढे में गिर गए अनायास, उनके समझ में नहीं आया और एकदम पता हुआ कि छूट गए सहयोग से, कहीं भी नहीं। लोग मुझे कहते माँ है तो बड़े लीडर थे, वो तो इतने ये थे। हाँ थे तो सही, लेकिन वो गए कहाँ? गए क्या करें, एकदम काफुर हो गए। कहाँ बताए कैसे? तो ऐसे लोग क्यों निकल गए? क्योंकि संतुलन नहीं। और जब संतुलन नहीं रहता है तो आदमी या तो लेफ्ट में चला जाएगा, राइट में चला जाएगा। और जैसे मैंने बहुत बार कहा कि दो तरह की शक्तियां हमारे अंदर है, जिससे कि हम सहयोग की ओर खींचते भी हैं, और दूसरी शक्ति जिससे हम बाहर फेंके जाते हैं। जैसे एक रस्सी में अगर आप पत्थर बांध कर घुमाएं तो पत्थर घूमता रहेगा जब तक रस्सी से बंधा है, और जैसे रस्सी से छूट जाएगा एकदम काटकोण में, टेंजेंट में फेंका जाएगा। इसी प्रकार बहुत से लोग सहयोग से निकल जाते हैं। तब फिर लोग कहते हैं माँ देखिए सहयोग में बहुत लोग कम हो गए। मैं क्या करूं? अगर कम हो गए तो इसमें सहयोग का नुकसान तो हुआ नहीं, इसमें उनका ही नुकसान हुआ। सहयोग का बिल्कुल भी नुकसान नहीं, क्योंकि जिसको नुकसान और फायदे से कोई मतलब ही नहीं है, ऐसी जो चीज है उसका क्या नुकसान हो सकता है? हाँ, अगर आपको अपना फायदा करा लेना है तो आप इस चीज को जान लीजिए कि सहयोग को आपकी जरूरत नहीं, आपको सहयोग की जरूरत है। ये योग का दूसरा अर्थ होता है युक्ति। एक तो है कि संबंध जुट जाए, लेकिन दूसरा है युक्ति। ये युक्ति समझ लेनी चाहिए कि ये युक्ति क्या है। इसे तीन तरह से समझाया जा सकता है। पहली तो युक्ति यह है कि हमें इसका ज्ञान आ जाना चाहिए। ज्ञान का मतलब बुद्धि से नहीं, किंतु हमारे उंगलियों में, हाथ में, अंदर कुंडलिनी का पूर्णतः जागरण होना, ये ज्ञान है। और जब ये ज्ञान हो जाता है तब और भी ज्ञान होने लग जाता है। बहुत सी बातें जो आप नहीं समझ पाते थे वो आप समझ पा सकते, और आप समझने लग जाते हैं कि कौन सत्य है, कौन असत्य है। और इस ज्ञान के द्वारा आप लोगों की कुंडलिनी भी जागृत कर सकते हैं और उनको समझा भी सकते हैं, और उनसे आप पूरी तरह से आप एकाग्र हो सकते हैं। उनके साथ आप वार्तालाप कर सकते हैं, बातचीत कर सकते हैं इस ज्ञान के कारण। तो आपको बौद्धिक ज्ञान भी उससे आते जाता है। आप सहयोग समझते हैं, नहीं तो कोई समझ सकता था पहले पीड़ा पिंगला सुख मन नाड़ी रे, एक ही डोर उड़ाऊंगा। इस तरह की बातें जो करता था कबीर, तो कोई समझता था उसको? नानक की कोई बात समझता था? या ज्ञानेश्वर जी की किसी ने कोई बात समझी नहीं? लाओत्से की किसी ने कोई बात समझी नहीं? कोई तो भी मिस्टीरियस चीज है, कोई बड़ी गोपनीय बात कह रहे हैं, ऐसे समझ करके लोग रखते थे। लेकिन सहजों के बाद आप सब समझने लगे, तो आपका बुद्धि चातुर्य भी बढ़ गया, उसकी भी चतुरता आ गई, आप उसको समझने लग गए। ये तो बात ठीक है कि आप उसे समझने लगे, और ऐसी बातें जो अगम्य थी वो भी गम्य हो गई, और सब बात को आपने जान लिया। सो तो एक युक्ति हो गई कि आपने अपना ज्ञान बढ़ा लिया। अब दूसरी युक्ति क्या? वो है कि जो आप हमारे प्रति भक्ति करें, उस भक्ति को भी जब आप करते हैं तब आप अनन्य भक्ति करनी चाहिए। माने आप हमसे तदाकारिता प्राप्त करें। जैसे हम सोचते हैं, ऐसा ही आप सोचने लग जाए। आज देर हो गई समझ लीजिए, तो हम भी कह सकते थे भाई हम बहुत थक गए, रात भर के जगे, अब हमारे बस का कुछ नहीं। लेकिन हमने ये सोचा कि नवरात्रि है तो रात ही में करना है, और यही मुहूर्त हमको मिलना था, यही मुहूर्त है, इसी वक्त ये पूजा होनी चाहिए, और ये होना ही चाहिए, तो हमको करना ही। और ये बड़े आनंद से हम कर रहे हैं, क्योंकि शुभ मुहूर्त यही है, और उस वक्त हमें सज्ज होना चाहिए। उसके बारे में सोचते भी नहीं कि हम थक गए या हमने आराम नहीं किया, कुछ भी नहीं, यही मुहूर्त है। जैसे एक लड़वैया अगर रणांगण में गया है और उसने देखा कि अपने सामने दुश्मन खड़ा, यही टाइम उसको मारने का, उसी वक्त उसे मारना चाहिए। उसी प्रकार यही समय है जबकि हमें ये पूजा करनी चाहिए, तो हम बैठे हैं, और आपको भी ऐसे सोचना चाहिए कि यही समय माने बांधा है, यही समय हमारे लिए उचित है, इसलिए हमें इसी वक्त पूजा करनी चाहिए।
Today I will tell you the importance of puja. You could take this.
It doesn't amplify, Mother, so you'll have to use your voice.
Even among the early Christians, they used to do the puja of the adoration to the statues maybe, or maybe the photographs, or we can say the stained glass copies of the Mother and Christ. But later on, people started becoming more rational, and they did not understand what is the importance of puja. And when they could not explain it, they gave up doing pujas in that regular manner. Even before Christ, they used to have a particular type of a tabernacle which was measured and was specially made, and a puja place was created to worship what they call Yehovah. Now this Yehovah in our Sahaja Yoga is Sadashiva, and Mother Mary is Mahalakshmi. She incarnated before also. She incarnated as Sita, and then she incarnated as Radha, and then she incarnated as Mother Mary. Now it is clearly written about the birth of Christ in a book called Devi Mahatmya. He was the son of Radha. Radha is the Mahalakshmi. So he was born in another state as an egg, and half of the egg remained as Sri Ganesha, and half of it became Mahavishnu, which is our Lord Jesus Christ. All the description about Jesus Christ is given in that Mahavishnu's description, exactly the same. Now this Mahalakshmi came on this earth, and she brought forth her child with immaculate conception, which she had done before also as Radha. So the Christ is the son of the great being, of the Virat. Actually Vishnu becomes the Virata. Now this Vishnu Tattva becomes Virata, and also he becomes Rama and Krishna. And then the Virat means the Akbar. So Christ is the Omkara itself, is the vibrations itself. All other incarnations had to take the principle or the essence of the Mother Earth to create their body, except for Christ's body, which is absolutely Omkara. And the earth element of that being is Sri Ganesha. So we can say that Christ is the power of Sri Ganesha, which incarnated. So that's the reason he could walk on the water. So he is the purest form of divinity, because he is just vibrations. So when you do puja, to me, because I am in person, there is nothing unreal. If they had done puja to Christ, they have done puja to Christ also when he lived, and to his mother. It is said that in the 10 Commandments, whatever is created by the heavens and by the earth should not be recreated and reproduced and worshipped. So the incarnations are created by the heavens. Only in modern times it is possible to take a photograph of the incarnation. But in the former days there was no possibility. Now, whatever is created by the Mother Earth is what has come out of the Mother Earth. which is the Swayambhu, is created by the Mother Earth. Now we have everywhere we find the Swayambhu things. Another thing is some realized souls also have made beautiful statues. I went to Portugal and they had a festival of the Lady of the Rocks. So I went to see that place, and there was a very small little statue of this height of the Mary, about say 5 inches at the most. And the face was just like mine, exactly like mine. And they said that this was found suddenly by 2 children who were following a rabbit which hid inside a niche. So these children saw some light inside the niche and they started following under a rock. And they reached the source of the light was the statue. They brought it out. And in that light they walked. And when the people outside, where lots of people were gathered, they were amazed to see that they brought out the statue from somewhere inside. So they worshipped that statue in that place. Now, these statues give you vibrations, as I give you vibrations, but not so much as I give you. And all the other statues also, there may be many who might be giving you vibrations. Also in India, as you know, you went, some of you, to Ganpatipure, where it is the Ganesha which has come, Mahaganesha, that is Christ, has come out of the Mother Earth, Mahaganesha. So the lower portion of the body you see there, and the head is the whole of the mountain. And there, the water of the sea is also sweet. And there are many sweet water wells there. If you remember, a photograph of mine was taken there. Many people took photographs. And in some photographs, in my heart, there's a light coming out. And some told me that some photographs, we did not have the light, but when they retook, the negatives were again taken as a photograph, and again they took a photograph with that, then the light came in there. So one must know that in the realm of divine, there are all kinds of miraculous things. Same is the puja. Now when we do the puja, first of all you will praise Sri Ganesha. By that, in you, Sri Ganesha will be awakened and established. By worshipping me as Sri Ganesha, your innocence will be established. And you will see the vibration wise also, your vibrations will increase and you will feel very stable within yourself. Now when you will take Sri Ganesha's names, you will know what qualities he has, what powers he gives you. When you praise those qualities, those powers of those qualities will start emitting through you. This is how the divine works. As if you get charged with those qualities. Then you praise the goddess, the Adishakti. Now the Adishakti has all the 7 chakras within her awakened. And she has to work with all these 7 chakras. For the first time, such an incarnation has come. It's like you make first 1 room, then 2nd room, then 3rd room, 7 rooms, and then when the whole house is done, you get the keys and you open, the house is yours. That is how I could achieve self-realization en masse. It could not happen earlier, but now possible because of this combination of all the 7 chakras. So now when you are praising the Adishakti, I am also a Mahamaya, that I look like you, I behave like you, I have made myself exactly like you. Very difficult to make, but I have. And this body has to bear lots of things to make you understand Sahaja Yoga and your own powers. For example, if you are rude to me, if you are not respectful, Christ gets very angry because he has said that anything against Holy Ghost he won't tolerate. So by chakra, the Agya starts throwing anger
Por ejemplo,
and moving very fast. Now, I have to bear it. I cannot tell you the way Christ wants me to tell you because he is very direct, and I have to little bit be careful so that you don't get upset. Moreover, while doing the puja, supposing you are a doubting type or you are opposing it, then you don't absorb the vibrations, and I have problems because the vibrations are flowing and you are not receiving it. So I don't know how to contain within myself. You don't suck in the vibrations. So I take time to take them out. So all these things are very symbolic. Whatever we are doing is very symbolic. And that symbol actually acts. For example, if you give somebody a flower, that person feels extremely joyous and happy, and gratitude comes in. So when you offer me, say, flowers or anything like water or anything, then the elements are happy and the deities are happy in the chakras. And then they emit their vibrations of their quality and of their blessings on you. They give you their quality and their blessings. That is how the divine acts. And gradually, after puja, you will feel it, that the whole thing is working out. Now, we are doing puja at this time, and all over the world people know that there's a puja going on here. So they are also sitting in meditation, and they also get the blessings. They are also waiting for this moment when the puja starts. So we give them a time like 11 o'clock or so. Up to 11 o'clock we should sit down, and they start at 11 o'clock. Now, they are getting the same blessings, though you are doing the puja, but they also get the blessings in their meditation. If you are not yet so clever, and if you don't know all the few things which are important in the puja, does not matter. Because if you are ignorant about it, innocent about it, God knows, He forgives. He doesn't mind. You should not mind if you commit any mistakes or anything. Just with a humble heart, do the way you like. Gradually, you will learn. But if you know and then you deliberately make mistakes, then it's not good. As we forgive our children, God also forgives innocent children. So you should be very relaxed about it. And just do it for the joy of your heart. May God bless you all. I think he finds it difficult to sit in the lap. He can sit at the back if he likes. This gentleman, this little boy, is too much for him to sit like. He can sit comfortably. Be comfortable. There's nothing to feel bad. Now they have to wash the feet.
yes. Que vengan los niños para lavar los pies.
The children have to wash the feet, and we will be singing that time the praise of Sri Ganesha.
Yes, in Spanish, no?
In Spanish. So now we are coming to the end of our first half tour. Now we have to look back upon ourselves and try to find out what have we achieved out of this. We must understand that Sahaja Yoga is not done through brain activities. Like many people think that if you just tell yourself you have to be like this, it will work out. If you have to all the time inform yourself that, oh, you must get rid of a particular problem, you'll be all right. Or some people think that if they tell somebody that this is wrong with you and you should get well, it will be all right. It is not so. Because Sahaja Yoga does not work on mental level. It works on spiritual level, which is a much higher level than the mental level. So what you have to do is to understand how to correct your chakras. And you must understand how to work out your machines. Perhaps people still live on mental level and try to solve problems on mental level. And that's why all the problems start coming up. Now, if you have a problem with any chakras, or there is anything catching, or you find that there's something wrong, no use working it out on any other level but spiritual level. Some people believe that if they have dressed up like something, or if they outwardly behave like something, they become that. That is not true. Like we have hippies in the West, and they think that they have become primitive. You do not become primitive by believing into it. Because you are so overdeveloped that you cannot become primitive. So by just doing something mentally, we do not become. Now this mental level can go even further in a subtler way into people. Some of you might feel that by knowing some of the artis and things by heart, you will achieve great, is not true also, because that is also just words. But if that is an awakened thing within you, then they become a mantra. And then you can work it out. But first of all, you must achieve a certain standard to have that power to create the mantras. Also, when you say some arti, it's not necessarily possible that it will work out. Let us face the things as they are and not to be conditioned by anything else. You have to achieve a certain depth within yourself to even to enlighten the mantra. First of all, you should have clear-cut vibrations, minimum of minimum. If you have certain chakras catching, then try to improve your chakras with the photograph. With all due respect to the photograph. It's only the photograph which is going to work it out, nothing else. Or if I am there. But once you have achieved a certain state of enlightenment, then you can use mantras, otherwise also it will help you. But first of all, your heart must be clear. I have found out in general there are two chakras overwhelmingly not working all right in most of the Western people. First is the heart. That means heart is not clear. That heart is not clean. That in the heart you still are a small person. In the heart you have not placed your mother. You have to purify your heart by looking at the photograph and putting all loving feelings about your mother, understanding her work and putting her into your heart. If the heart is not clear, then everything has no meaning because it is a dark heart which is doing all these things. The heart has to be clean, absolutely surrendered, and must try to put me before everything else. I can tell you because we are all Sahaja Yogis. I cannot say this to people who are not Sahaja Yogis. Now we always try to relate Sahaja Yoga from our own terms, not from the terms that belong to God. God is what He is. He cannot change Himself. You have to change. So whatever we think about God, we want to put on that. For example, if someone thinks that he tries to be nice or good to me, or if he is close to me, so-called, and if he thinks he is organizing better or he is doing this work or that work, or anything else like that, where he feels that he is important because he is doing this job or that job, then one must know that all this is mental. Actually, you are doing nothing. Whenever you try to do something, you really confuse yourself and confuse me also. You have seen yesterday's example. I was sure that they had to go next day, but nobody would listen to me and they rushed away and they found that the tickets were for the next day. This knowledge comes to you if you are clear-hearted. As yesterday I said, you better not come. I didn't know what was the situation there. I just said, don't come. Finished. Because I knew what was going to happen. So this clear-cut idea comes to you when your heart is clean. But first of all, people do not understand that you have to work it through your heart and not through your brain. When we have to work out things through our brain, we try to develop our brain, isn't it? By memorizing, by practicing something, teaching our brain how to think, how to go this way, that way. We try to train our brain. Now we have to train our heart in Sahaja Yoga. And to train our heart in Sahaja Yoga, one has to know first of all that it is enveloped either by ego or by superego. The limbic area actually represents the heart. And if there is ego, heart will always be so-called. It will not be the real heart that will be working, but it's only mental projection. And you will feel that I'm doing it from my heart. That's not true. Now then, supposing what should we do if we have ego? You might say you should try to sort of tell yourself that that's not good and this and that and all kinds of mental suggestions or auto-suggestions or the way psychiatrists and all that give you suggestions. That's again mental. So that's not the way it is going to work out. We must understand that for that what we have to do is to raise the left side and put it to the right side. There's no other way out. You have to just work it out with your hands. Your hands are working it out and not your brain. So use your hands and the methods of Sahaja Yoga. Now, everyone must have a regular sitting in the water every day. That's important. Every morning you must do your meditation. Because on mental level we feel we have been with Mother, all right. This exposure is all right. You came, you saw how Indians are and how they are light on their feet and how they are good for Sahaja Yoga. But after seeing all that, you have to know that Sahaja Yoga is to be worked out. It is not to be thought out. You just cannot think about it. Whatever you may try to do through your thought, you cannot achieve any results in Sahaja Yoga. You have to use your hands, you have to use your feet, you have to soak your feet in the water because water is the ocean. all these 5 chakras, or say 6 chakras, which are, I say 5 because the one is the Muladhara chakra, which is the 7, and the topmost is the brain. So in between 5 chakras which are there are to be handled fully with the idea that they are basically made of matter. And these 5 elements constitute the body of these chakras. Now these chakras, if they are to be corrected, we have to correct them by taking out all the problems of these chakras into the elements from which they come. For example, a person who is a very right-sided person, so he has to give a balance by the left side. Of course, raising with the hand is all right, but what about the element? Right-sided person has all the elements which give heat. You can say the light, we can say the fire. So for people who are right-sided, the light is not going to help much. Like if you put the light before the photograph, and those who are ego-oriented people, if you just use the light, it's not going to work out. So what is going to work out is the Mother Earth and the water element, which is cooling. Even ice is very helpful to people who are right-sided. So all cooling effects should be used for correcting your right-sidedness so that you cool it down. Same about food. In food, those who are right-sided people should take to foods which are left-sided, that is carbohydrates. Means they should become partly vegetarians or quite a lot of vegetarians. And should eat things at the most like chicken, but not fishes, not seafoods, because they are all hot. That's how you treat your material side of your chakras. Now the left-sided people should use again the Deepa, means the light or the fire, to correct their left side. Also in food, such people should take more to nitrogenous, means protein and foods like that. They should take more proteins. Now, as far as Sahaja Yoga is concerned, the basic thing is Kundalini. And the Kundalini, as I have told you, is the pure desire. Again, listen to it carefully, pure desire. That means all other desires are impure. There's only one pure desire, and that is to be one with the divine, one with the Brahma, one with God. That's the only pure desire. All other desires are impure. So, train your mind gradually to achieve that desire as the main thing. If you train your mind in that fashion, then you can develop pure desire. So all other desires will negate gradually. Alright. Now this desire to be one with the divine is the purest and the highest. And to achieve that, what have you to do? To achieve that, you have to keep your mother pleased. Very simple. Adi Shankaracharya has said that you don't bother about it, just keep your mother pleased. You have to be a simple person, not try to be cunning with me or clever with me. I know everyone very well. Try to tell yourself that I should say things, I should behave in a manner that will please my mother. Supposing you are in Sahaja Yoga and you are doing wrong things, it is not going to please me at all. So, how to please mother? That you should try to see for yourself. What kind of a thing pleases me the best? I am also a very simple person. So I want a simple-hearted person. Who is simple-hearted? For example, a person who tries to show off too much, try to be always the first, or try to be always the sort of a cinema star. I don't like such people. You have to be very quiet and extremely shy about showing off yourself. Do I show off that I am Adishakti? I do not. I live like you, absolutely like you. Do I try to show off? Then why should you try to show off to me? So that kind of a person is no good. Secondly, you should not be tense with me. There is no need to be tense. If I find something wrong with you, if I scold you also, is for your good. If I say a good word, it is for your good. My Sahaja Yoga works this way. I have no malice against anyone in the whole world, no malice at all, and no anger for anyone in this world. I have nothing but compassion. But in compassion, sometimes I have to scold, and in the same compassion, I have to speak in a very compassionate manner. So, both ways, it helps you. It helps you both ways. So, thank God that you have somebody who will correct you at the right time for your good, because you are saints. And you have come on this earth to establish God's kingdom. That's what you have to do. And if you are the people who are not respected, who are not sensible, who haven't got the dignity, who behave in a cheapish way, how can people accept it? So this heart chakra is to be first looked after. That with your heart, desire that you will keep your mother pleased. Even if I am angry with you, don't feel bad about it. That's one of the signs that Sahaja Yoga has not yet developed. If I scold you, it is because there is something in you which has to go away and which I must scold, so it will go. So accept it just as a correcting point that is good for you. Some sort of a thorn is within you which has to be taken out by another thorn, and mother has taken it out. Once you start understanding the compassion of your mother, you will not mind. My saying anything to you, my correcting you, or my telling you that this is wrong, because I have to do that. Now, those people who do not have a good heart, clean heart, cannot understand this. They cannot understand this. Very difficult. So you keep your heart clean towards your mother. Whatever I do for you is just a blessing, always a blessing for you. Whatever I do for you is a blessing, remember that. Now another chakra which is horribly caught up with most of you is your Nabhi chakra, suggesting that you are still very, very materialistic. In small things also we are materialistic. It becomes subtler and subtler and subtler. So try to understand that matter is not so important. Matter is just there to please each other, especially to please your mother. It has no other value whatsoever. So you should not try to be materialistic in the sense that, you see, for a little thing you have to do this, for a little thing you have to do that. Nothing is important. If it works out, well and good, and if it doesn't work out, well and good. So, you see, Nabhi chakra is very individualistic. Very individualistic. It is everybody's personal thing. If your desire is only up to Lakshmi point, that you want to have more money or you care for little things here and there, without any spiritual value to it, then your Lakshmi Tattva at the most might be awakened. But this Lakshmi Tattva has to become Mahalakshmi Tattva. That is for your ascent. And just to get it to that Mahalakshmi Tattva, what you have to do is to use all your material things and your material being in such a way that you please me. That is very important. So you should not do something that will not please me. That's very important. Everybody must understand. I want you to understand that when you dress up, also certain things I don't like at all, like disheveled hair, at all. That might be a fashion, whatever do, but I don't like it. Always must be properly combed, properly done hair. These modern things you should give of disheveled hair, because this is a sign of pakka bhoots coming in. If you have disheveled hair, the bhoots recognize a person and they get into such a person who has disheveled hair. So try to make your hair in a proper, see now Indians how they make their hair. Look at them, they all make their hair properly. Because I have nothing to do with your hair. I am not a hair styling person or anything. But if you do not have your hair properly combed and done, then definitely you are in for trouble. So take heed to these things. Then some people have a habit of being untidily dressed. That's also not a good thing. You have to be tidily dressed, clean and tidily dressed. Not because it is material, but it is very important that if it is not so, that kind of a material will attract all the badhas into you. You must keep yourself clean and neat because these badhas should not enter. All these ideas that have come to the West have come from some satanic force. It doesn't look beautiful in any way, it doesn't look good for any spiritual person. We have to change our styles that will be appealing to the divine and not to the bhoots. We don't want any bhoots to come on us. If you understand this simple fact, then you will start dressing up in a way that may not be modern, may not be ancient, whatever it is neat, clean, spick and span. Otherwise, also if you see to the matter point more and more, though you are accumulating 1001 things which are plastic in temperament and nature, you should have few things which have a spiritual value. Not all extraordinary things that we try to have, because they have no spiritual value. So try not to accumulate all these nonsensical things to you. Gradually you will find you will reduce. You go on reducing. You will have simpler lives, better things and spiritual things. Whatever you buy, see the vibrations and then buy. Otherwise just don't buy. Because all kinds of nonsensical bhoots will be in your house and you will be in trouble. So whatever you want to buy, you must see on vibratory awareness. If you cannot understand, ask somebody else, a Sahajogi, to help you out. But don't go on buying things just because you think they are cheap or they are nice or good. So try to buy things which are vibration-wise are all right. And if it is not so, finish it. It's nothing important. I must buy this, I have to go to Bombay to buy this. That's a wrong idea. Now attention has to be inward all the time. I have seen that our attention is outward. Because of that, what we see outside is not good for vibrations. But if your attention is inside, you will not buy anything that is not good for vibration. Or you will not own something, you will just throw away. But the attention is outside, and because of that you just don't know how to judge it. Nabhi chakra has to be attended to. For that, you don't have to think, you have to work it out, see which side of Nabhi is catching. If the right side is catching, for you, sugar is the best. Sugar represents many things. Sugar means your also tongue should be sweet. You should talk sweetly. People think that if you talk sweetly to someone, then people will start thinking that you are good for nothing or you are absolutely a meek person. You have to be meek. We have to be meek and humble. We must learn how to talk sweetly to each other. And if you do not understand how to speak, then take more sugar, vibrated sugar. That will make your tongue sweeter and sweeter. And your ideas will be sweeter about another person than harsh and criticizing. So for the right-sided people, sugar is suggested. For the left-sided people, salt. Left-sided people should take salt more, and with salt they can solve many problems because salt gives them a personality, a composer by which they can express themselves in a way which is dignified and so not very lethargic. So the speed of your talks or behavior or everything should be in the center. It should not be lethargic, nor should be too quick and fast and hectic. So you will understand Sahaja Yoga is a central point of everything. Everything in the center one should try to bring. Not one extreme to another extreme. If you talk too much and jabber too much and if you are fast, try to reduce your speed by alertly looking at it. You have to be alert. See, my speed is going up. There's no need for me to talk. Let me stop. But those who do not talk at all are also not good. So those who talk or those who do not talk have to understand only one thing, that whatever we talk in the center. Once you understand that, your responses to things would be absolutely central, balanced and beautiful. Now this is all for me I can say at this time because the time is short also for us. We have all enjoyed our stay all over. I think so you all have been happy all over and we have worked it out very well. And it has been quite a lesson to all of us and also a very great experience of enjoyment. So not to feel guilty about anything because feeling guilty you do not get over it. Feeling guilty is an escape. You must face it. You must face it and see, correct yourself and be one with it. That is a much better way than to just to go on feeling guilty or aggressive. That's not the way because I said it's not mental. So if you understand these few points on these two chakras is Nabhi and your heart. If you understand these 2 points clearly, that you must keep it clear. And the expression of that will show in your behavior, in your dress, in your walk, gait, talking and everything outside. But you cannot go from outside inside. Supposing somebody says that alright, Mother, I have combed my hair very well, so I am alright. It's not so. Not necessarily. Even if you have combed your hair, you might be possessed by a bhoot. But at least there's less chances. So one has to understand it that it has to be worked out. I think this must be really screwed into your head. That Sahaja Yoga is to be worked out. You cannot just tell yourself, oh, I'm very happy because it pampers your ego, or very unhappy because it is troubling through your super ego. I'm not very happy, I'm very happy or I'm very unhappy. That's not the way. You have to be in joy. And these things can work out. You should have patience with yourself, love for yourself and dignity. That you are Sahajogis, every individual has to work it out for himself so the whole can be alright. There could be some people who are only worried about others. Worry about yourself and see the good points of others. Not the bad points, but good points of others. And also, if somebody has to tell you that you must organize, go fast and all that, not to feel bad. We have to be like that. We have to be very quick. We have to do so much work in this world. We have no time to waste. We have no time to waste. It has to be very quick and we have to be very prompt and healthy about it. As you know that in this trip you have seen that how much work I have been doing compared to you people. And I am so much older compared to you people. Alright, you can say that Mother you are Adi Shakti, it's alright. But I am your ideal. In any case, if somebody is your ideal, try to become like that person. Try to imbibe those qualities in you. So, now I may have to bid farewell to most of you who are going away. I hope I'll be able to see you, but as you know I have programs and programs and programs. I don't know where I'm going to stay and where I will be. In any case, I'll try to be there. So the program is today, I have a program which I have to go for, you don't have to go. Now you are going to Karwa where you will have your lunch, I won't be there. In a village way, they are cooking something for you. And then I will be busy with some other programs myself, so I'll go direct to Bombay. Then tomorrow morning, I have a program, you don't have a program. So, I don't know, some of you might have to come, I don't know what is the situation is. In any case, if you have to go out shopping, you can go and do some shopping in Bombay and get things for yourself if you want to do it, those who are going back. And evening time, there's a wedding of Kamakshi and Malcolm. And whatever you want to give collectively a present to them, whatever you have to do, you can do it tomorrow morning. And then day after tomorrow morning, 23rd morning, most of you have to go to Delhi. But there are some who are not going to Delhi. Now raise your hands who are not going to Delhi on the 23rd. Huh? Warren? Warren isn't going?
He is going.
Warren? What is it? You are not going?
You suggested that, or Bimal suggested that I may have to go to Pune. I'm just awaiting your decision.
All right. So
The rest of the group, 53 people are going on.
all right. So you all are going. Those who are not going, out of them those who are going to Delhi, not 23rd but later on, raise your hand.
London and European. London and Europe people.
London and Europe people. So this is the second group. Now those who are going to Delhi afterwards, please see that you book your seats. You shouldn't give me headache about this, you see. So you book your seats properly. All of you may not get your reservation. Some of you are going by a train. And inform the people in Delhi, yourself, organize it, you see. You can have Perekar and also somebody else, Jayavant, to help you out. That those who are going, these two persons, Perekar and Jayavant, will look after you. You book your seats. Bakre tumi janar ka parat. Acha. So you book your seats. Then also somebody must talk to Delhi people and find out, because they want to have you there for about 7 days with them. Not 26th January, you all should be there. I hope you are all going to be there. 26th morning, they want to take you round to see the parade. I may not be there. 26th evening, I may be there, I don't know. 27th, they are starting the program. So, till the 26th, whatever you have to do, you can finish. And 27th, I am starting my program, but still you will be staying with them, I think. They have got these flats from the 28th. So they have a wrong conception about you. They think you all want bathrooms and things attached, so they got the flats. But I told them that don't get the flats. Firstly, they are rather expensive, and also they don't want it. They want to go in a bungalow. But I don't know, they also have got conceptions. They think you are too attached to bathrooms, so which is true also. So they think they are obliging us by giving us bathroom attached rooms, you see. So that is why it has happened now. Whatever has happened has happened. Now, for the marriages. We have decided on marriages on these things. Now who has got the list? Who has got the list?
In with England, it mistakenly is Martine Pichou. She should not be there. She's from Switzerland. But apart from that, that is the full list.
Her marriage is already sort of
Then
fixed up,
that's
you
no
see.
problem.
So I don't know, but it's about 80% fixed. So now this you have given me. But now what I am trying to say, that who has chosen who, that's not it. So pass on this list, and by the time we are in Delhi, you tell me. The marriages are going to be on the 6th. So there's still time for us to sort it out. On the 6th.
I think most of them are relying upon you to make certain suggestions.
No, I won't. I'm sorry, sir. Not me, sir. You know the joke? There was a fellow sitting on the fence, and another gentleman went and going in a car, he asked him, how do you go to such a place? So he just looked at him. He said, not me, sorry. I'm not going to tell you. He said, why? He said, the one I told before has punched my nose. Not me, sorry. Will you please decide for yourself? Because decision making is so much there in the ego. So you do it in a proper way. Make your own decisions. You'll stick on to it better. Still that exists. What can we do about it? It exists still. So better, this is the list. You go through it, make your selections and choices, and don't force on anyone, because again the same question, no sorry. It's absurd the way we do things. Absurd, absolutely absurd. Marriage is not so important that way. Not so important. But this ego comes back, and I have decided and now I have not. And then this, all nonsense it is. So with that idea that once you are married forever. Take a decision properly. So I bless all of you, all the brides and the bridegrooms, but I think there are more bridegrooms than the brides.
Yes, that's true, Mother.
So I'll have to find out some brides.
Two of them particularly have asked if they could marry Indian ladies at some, not necessarily this time, Mother. There's one from Australia, two from Australia, I think.
Good idea.
They'd like to marry
The
Maharashtrian girl.
There was, yes, you were telling about a boy who's about 39 or something.
Yes, he's one of them. And
for him, I found a girl, but she's not yet been divorced. She's not yet been divorced. So, so any other questions you have, please ask me before we start the puja. Good idea. Any other question? If you have really some question, ask. Otherwise, we have to finish the puja fast and we have to go away.
Perhaps some of us don't know who the men are that we're supposed to see about our tickets for sailing. I'm not familiar with, I don't know these people. Is there someone I could ask to be interested so we know who to see about our tickets for sailing? I don't know the names of the gentlemen's names.
I have to go to America to really understand what I didn't. What is it?
About tickets, she wants. She tell her to see Warren.
Warren,
Yes,
you should see Warren.
Yes.
All right. Brian and Warren. All right. Now I have forgotten again American English. I'm sorry. In America I understand, then I forget it, you see. The English has so many versions. Australian English is different. Every English is different. So I'm sorry I've forgotten the American English. I'll get to it very soon. All right, done? पहिल्यांदा मी इंग्लिश भाषेत बोलेल, त्याच्यानंतर मराठी. वेलकम टू ऑल ऑफ यू. This great country is also passing through a crisis. Nowadays I feel there are so many things that are happening which we could never dream before. And at this time you all have arrived bringing peace and joy to all of them. So I thank you for that. The strife and the strain which is on human beings is perhaps because they are not yet worthy of God's blessings. Still, as God has created them, He tries to do His utmost to see that human beings are kept comfortably all right on this Mother Earth. He creates all kinds of beautiful things, as you see, and the whole cosmos is in unison and working out something very great today. This new revolution that has started very, very silently today is taking its shape and is providing a new future for all of us. You see those big, big trees that are on top of your head? And as long as you are sitting here, no fruit will fall upon you. It's not because I am here, but because this Mother Earth knows that there are such great saints sitting here, and she is not going to disturb. This place was called as Sri Gav, I was told, means the village of the goddess. And this fruit is called as Sri Phal, meaning the fruit of the goddess. But actually, if you see, a coconut is something like our Sahasrara, and is very auspicious because it can absorb a lot of vibrations, as if it has got its realization. As you people can absorb my vibrations, this fruit can absorb also my vibrations in the greatest amount. So we are here today in a very big way to advertise the coming of the new age, the coming of the golden era people have talked about. Here we are to say what is reality, what is truth, what is joy. Here we are to manifest that, and also to create a commotion or a movement in the cosmos so that this new awareness is established in the cosmos, which will enlighten this country and the people of this country. Also, you will pick up the threads of this movement within yourself, which is a very subtle movement going on. At this moment, we are in a strife of an intellectual who tried to describe Sri Rama and Sri Krishna in a slurring manner. And this is the time I want to bring your attention that if these intellectuals try to use their intelligence to bring down all the ideals which enlighten our path, which gives us the guideline and an aspiration, then our life becomes absolutely mundane, useless, joyless. It's very easy to condemn an ideal life, but to attain that life is very difficult. And some people, because they cannot attain it, try to condemn it so that they feel that they are no way less than those great lives. All these ideals are created, these images are created everywhere in the world by the divine power. And people look at them and think that these great lives are beautiful, though they have suffered a lot. But there is so much of deeper understanding, a deeper balancing, and a deeper love. These ideas are very important for human societies, otherwise they will be absolutely living relatively and they will have no absolute measure to find out what is right and what is wrong. In Sahaja Yoga, we are here, first of all, to get connected with God Almighty, with His power, the all-pervading power of Chaitanya. By that, we become our own master, in the sense that we get our own guidelines. If some Sahaja Yogi has not achieved that much, then it is a serious thing. At least a Sahaja Yogi should be able to see, at the minimum of minimum, what is wrong with that person. To cleanse yourself and to put yourself right is, of course, a very important duty of every Sahaja Yogi. But these things are not to be taken as condemnation of yourself by any chance. And you should not be identified with those problems that you have, but try to face them and cure them. Many a times I have heard Sahaja Yogis saying that Indians are very simple people, they are not complicated, mother, so they can achieve their ascent much faster. But it's not that. It is creditable for all of you, very much, that despite all the complications and all kinds of brainwashing and all kinds of book reading and all kinds of so-called seeking and all that nonsense one has gone through, you have come out of it. You have washed yourself completely. And today you are there, united together to face all that is absurd, all that is false, all that is wrong. It has to be a very formidable army for us. Because if you see around, even in this country you call it not complicated, there are many who are all the time to complicate others and to destroy all their ideals, destroy all their visions and what? Brainwash them. So you have to be very alert yourself, and you have to be very conscious that it is you who is going to build up this great image of ideal people. Not one ideal life, but ideal people in all collectiveness. Now on your way to our tour, you are now on the threshold of entering into a new dimension, which is a subtler dimension, and this subtler dimension is within ourselves. And there lies your own being as your spirit. It sees you as separate. Yourself is separate from yourself. All misidentifications have to be dropped off. All kinds of misidentifications. I was reading one of the marriages list and all that. Somebody says that they will marry Indians, some say will not marry Indians, some say will not change the country, some say will change the country. Even after Sahaja Yoga for so many years, if we stick on to one country as our own, then I must say we have to give up those limitations. The time has come. Of course, you have the choice. Nobody is going to force you to do anything. But it also expresses your personality. That you still are lingering on to these small limitations. As I have told you many times, God created only one word. Of course, He created varieties, just to create beauty. But how blind we are that we think we are different people. We are of different countries, of different races, of different castes, communities, cities, then little roads, then houses. I would say we become from human beings to rats, and rats to worms, and then I don't know what is the situation later. Let's open our heart. Let's become great. We have to be like lions, not to be small and creepy people like worms. We have many worms everywhere in the world. We are specially chosen people to be something great. So open your heart. That's the main problem. This ego covers the heart and makes you feel that now I am an Indian, I am a Christian, I am this thing, I am that. Now if I say to someone you are not to go to temple, then I must be a very cruel person to say that, not to go to a temple. But They go to a temple and come back with such a big entity on their heads. Then they go to churches. The other day I had a very bad experience of a lady who went to a church in France, and she has become something like a minister, maybe something like a pope. I mean, something very funny, nothing normal. I couldn't discover it. When I asked, she said, I went to a church. Why? Because they arranged a marriage there. Why? Oh, they wanted to have a big social event, so they wanted to have a marriage. But you could just have a registered marriage, finish it off. Why do you want to go to a church where all dead bodies are buried? To get back some of them on your heads. So we have to be prepared to give up all these shackles of nonsense from our heads. All kinds of things there are. So much of conditioning. Come down even to the color scheme. Then it's all conditioned. This is too much. Not good. All funny ideas and anything funny and nonsensical that comes up, such funny brains picks it up. The other day, I was telling a lady about her food. That a new idea has come that you should not eat any salt and sugar. I mean, just imagine. Salt is so important for our breathing. You ask any doctor, I mean, I don't know what's happening to the doctors also. And sugar is so important for our combustion. But anybody says anything, you people just jump at it and you people just try to be impressed by all these ideas. And start torturing yourself. Last but not the least, I feel now, I've seen the program on Gnostic. Gnostic, G-N-O. And I was thinking, it comes from where? G-N-O. In Sanskrit language, Gnya. Gnya we call it. We call it Gnya or Gnya. Anyway, that means to know. Gnostics means the one who knew. When St. Thomas came to India, he came via Egypt, and he wrote all about it, what is to know. And he said it's a personal experience of everyone. Just he described all Sahaja Yoga there. And also he said, why should God make you suffer? He is the most loving and affectionate Father, blasting all ideas of Christianity. Also so many Hindus believe like that, Muslims believe like that you must suffer. So now somehow or other the exposure of the truth is also coming down. And also there is a kind of a turmoil going on. A kind, I would say, a tremendous dynamic effects are seen on human mind today, that it starts thinking, what is this? And you are the answer. You are the one who is going to convince them. And somebody was saying that, Mother, why not we make every year as a great year of propagation of Sahaja Yoga, propaganda of Sahaja Yoga, prachar karya. I said, all right, we want to make a year by that, if something happens, let us have. But like our 5-year plan in India, I don't want to do all the documentation and write files and files and files, nothing comes out. But today if you decide that we are the ones who have to manifest this greatness on this earth, we are the ones who have to do all this. How can we be weak people? How can we be possessed people? How can we be fussy people? How can we be the people who are not saints? We have to come out of all pettiness, all our conditionings, and of all the things of our ego. But not through fighting, through meditation, through witness state. You have to be the witness. Now you are traveling. When you are traveling, normally the witness state is how to criticize something. They'll never see the good points, but they'll say, oh, look at that, this color should not have been used, that's not good, that's not good. What is good is to be seen. What is good in you, how much good you can have, and what is good in other people. This time, I'm telling you that on your way, on your tour, I hope you will all enjoy it very much more and you'll feel the manifestation of your spirit all around you, within you, and in other people. May God bless you.
Today, it's a great day for all of us, the seekers, that the last work of the Divine, of opening the last center in the great primordial being was done on the 5th of May, 1970. It is the greatest event of all the spiritual happenings of the universe. It was done with very great care and great adjustments. It is not human, limits of human understanding. How things are worked in the heavens. It is your fortune and God's love that has worked out this wonderful life. Without this happening, there could not have been a possibility to give mass realization. One could have done it for 1 or 2 persons here and there, but to give such a mass awakening did not have been possible. As you know, in the Sahasrara, there are the seats of the 7 main chakras. There are 1,000 nadis, or as they call it, frames, and they all have each 16,000 parts. Every nadi deals with a particular type of a person, and in the permutations and combinations of all these nadis, human beings are looked after. As soon as Sahasrara was opened, the whole atmosphere was filled with tremendous Chaitanya. And there was tremendous light in the sky. And the whole thing came on this earth as if a torrential rain or a waterfall with such a tremendous force
as if I was unaware and got stupefied. The happening was so unexpected and so tremendous that I was stunned and I became completely silent at his grandeur. I saw the primordial Kundalini rising like a big furnace, and the furnace was very silent but burning appearance it had, as if you heat up some metal and it has many colors. In the same way, the Kundalini showed up like a huge furnace, say of a, you can say, of a furnace which is like a tunnel. You see these plants you have for coal burning, create electricity. And it stretched like a telescope, one after another came out, like that. And the deities came and sat on their seats, on their golden seats. And then they lifted the whole of the head like a big dome and opened. And then this torrential rain completely drenched me. And I started seeing all that and got lost into the joy. It's like an artist seeing its own creation fulfilled. I felt the joy of great fulfillment. After coming out of that beautiful experience, I looked around and I saw human beings so blind. And I became absolutely silent. Then I desired that I should get the cups to fill his nectar.
Torrentiel.
But I saw all stones. Sastara is the most beautiful part of yogi. It is a big lotus with 1,000 petals of different colors, appearing like inflated flames. It is a thing which is seen by many people, but to see it over that torrential rain was like these flames becoming a fountain of colors and of fragrance. When you think of a flower pouring its color and its fragrance around, people have written very little about Sastara, because whatever they have seen is from outside, and it's not possible for them to go from inside. Even if you reach from inside, if the whole Sastara is not opened out, you cannot see its beauty, because when it is closed, the whole of it, the total, then you just pass through a little aperture and get out. So just imagine a huge big petal, 1,000 petal lotus, and you are sitting inside or in the corona and looking at all these petals, all very beautifully colored and fragrant and pulsating with the bliss and great joy. To remain on that position is the ideal situation. But then, after the silence, you are filled with tremendous excitement and love. And you are drawn out
people who haven't yet known what is having eyes, and thus you try to put your attention to the Sahasrara of millions of people. And then you start seeing the problems that exist in the Sahasrara. And even if you desire open Sahasrara, it is a very difficult thing, because the channelizing from the divine to human beings has to be through human beings. The power could be with you, but it has to be channelized through human element. All my life I had not known many realized souls. How to get them? How to work it out? So I started looking out for people. And I met one old lady of 70 years. And she was very perturbed about something very close. And when she came to me, she felt very peaceful. Her Sahasrara was very burned out. And in my company, she would think of something else, not of the spirit. And her brain would be covered with clouds and darkness. Again and again I had to enlighten her, but she did not get her realization. Most of the people who came to me in the beginning came for getting cured. This capacity I had from childhood. Then I could give also realization to few people before, but they had to be very earnest, ardent. I didn't meet anyone of that quality, because I was not living in the forest. I was living as a normal human being, among other normal human beings, and they were not that earnest, that ardent. And I had to do this work among them. How to talk to them about the real world that exists and the forest in which they live. One lady, the first one who got realization, just came to see me because she was possessed with the idea of seeking, she thought, and it worked in her. That was not the happiest day, because she is one of those who get individually realization. With this great happening, many should get at a time. We had a program in Dodi in 70, and there first one gentleman got realization. Next day there were negative forces active in Manita, and they started talking of favoritism. I could see in the atmosphere the vibrations were very wrong. In the evening, I took up a very strong, firm attitude. I never got into such a feeling before. And I lashed out. Surprisingly, 12 of them got realization. That was the greatest moment. Then many got one by one. 3 of them who were traveling back got realization suddenly in the train they felt the vibration. So the mass evolution started. Sahasrara is your awareness. When it is enlightened, you get into the technique of the divine. Now there are 2 techniques, the technique of the divine and the technique that you follow. You cannot act as divine, but you can use the divine power and manipulate. For example, divine looks after all the universal happenings. Every minutest particle is controlled by divine.